You have the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Representative Comer, take quote-unquote evidence in account from someone who was working with the Russian intelligence and tried to impeach and remove the president of the United States over it. This is serious.
How did they not know that, or did they know that this was connected to the Russians? Or did they not figure that out because they hadn't translated from the Cyrillic?
That, I think, is a very excellent question for Chairman Comer.
And House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is here to respond to that. Congressman, your colleague and Stephen Colbert clearly have some questions for you regarding the impeachment inquiry. So what is your reaction to that moment from late night with Stephen Colbert last night?
You know, all the Democrats have is Russia, 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 Russia. Our investigation has actually proven that the Bidens took $3.5 million from a Russian oligarch for no known reason. We deposed the president's son, as you know, and they couldn't explain why they received the $3.5 million. We believe the money was received because the Russian oligarch couldn't get an American bank to take her as a client. All the people that the Bidens were influence peddling with were bad people from bad countries around the world. The Democrats always go back to Russia 2.0. I assume what AOC is talking about is the FBI informant that was arrested. We never knew who the FBI informant was. We had whistleblowers bring forward a 1023 that alleged the Bidens were involved in a bribery scheme. This allegation was consistent with what we had already found in Romania and China. We knew the Bidens were up to no good in Ukraine, so we investigated this. We asked Christopher Wray who the FBI informant was, and Christopher Wray himself told us the FBI informant was one of the Bureau's most trusted and highest paid informants. In fact, he had been with the Bureau for over 10 years. So the whole ordeal there with the FBI informant wasn't relevant to the investigation. It was one part that we investigated, but the Democrats and the intelligence community are colluding with the media to try to say that that was a key part of the investigation, and therefore the investigation needs to end. The bottom line is this: the Bidens took nearly $30 million from our enemies around the world. They can't say what they did to receive the money. We believe Joe Biden's compromised because of the money he's taken, and we know Joe Biden's been dishonest with the American people.
Okay, with all that being said, Politico has a piece out saying that your investigation into President Biden, the impeachment inquiry, is fizzling, and now Republicans are looking for, quote, fresh lines of attack against the Biden administration. Is that true, and where are you in this investigation into the president?
It's not true, and I think this investigation's been one of the most successful congressional investigations in history. At the beginning of this investigation, the media narrative was the Bidens had a legitimate business. They never took any money while Joe Biden was vice president. They never took any money from China, and Joe Biden never met with any of these crooks that were sending the Bidens millions and millions of dollars. We've proven all of that to be false. And we've done it with subpoenaed bank records. You know, they can't say there's no evidence when we have their bank statements. The bank statements show the Bidens took the money. The emails show the involvement of Joe Biden in the family schemes. 3 Biden associates have testified under oath that Joe Biden was the closer of these influence peddling schemes. So I think this has been a very successful investigation, and we're trying now to do what I consider the accountability phase of this. We've proven the crimes. We've proven the government was involved in a massive cover-up. Now it's time to hold them accountable. And what's the best way to hold the Bidens accountable? And I tell the American people, stay tuned over the next few weeks.
Stay tuned over the next few weeks. What will we be staying tuned for?
I'm sorry?
What will we be staying tuned for? What's going to happen in the next 2 weeks?
Well, we're going to be issuing, hopefully, a report very soon. We're giving Joe Biden an opportunity to answer some questions. We invited Joe Biden, just like we invited Hunter Biden, to come in front of the committee to testify publicly. They said many times they wanted to do that. The media attacked me because they said I didn't want the Bidens to come in front of the committee because I was scared. We've given them an open invitation. They're the ones that don't want to come in front of the committee. We also, to try to help with Joe Biden's busy schedule. You know, he wakes up about noon and ends work about 3 o'clock. But we've submitted questions for Joe Biden to answer. We're hoping that he answers those questions. But at the end of the day, it's very difficult to answer the questions in a way that doesn't implicate the Bidens, because we have their bank records, we have the emails, we've deposed all the Biden associates that we could find, the ones that aren't currently in jail and the ones who aren't currently on the run internationally. So we believe that there are criminal referrals that are warranted, and we still believe that impeachment is very much on the table.
Okay, well, you are also looking for information from the DOJ. You and Jim Jordan have requested the audio recordings of Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Biden over how he handled classified documents. The DOJ just responded to you saying request denied. They essentially seem to indicate that you only want these audio recordings for political purposes, to damage the president politically. They sent you a letter. The last line is, "We urge the committees to avoid conflict rather than seek it." What's your reaction to that? Why do you want these audio recordings when you already have the transcript, and why does the DOJ not want to give them to you?
The DOJ is the ultimate pot calling the kettle black. I mean, the whole past 12 months, Jim Jordan and I have been under attack by Ian Sams and the White House War Room. Every fact that we've presented to the American people in a transparent manner, the DOJ has colluded with the corrupt mainstream media to try to create a false narrative that there's disinformation, that there's no evidence, and this Russian collusion, when in fact none of those things are true. The DOJ doesn't get to determine what Congress needs. We need these audio tapes. The Biden administration claimed when they were a candidate for president that they would be the most transparent administration in history. I can make a strong argument they're the least transparent administration in history. We need to determine if the audio match the transcript. And I can say this from depositions that we do. You can be in the room and you can hear the confrontation and you can hear the stuttering and you can hear the back and forth. But when the transcript comes out, you really can't tell what all happened during the course of the questioning. So we believe the audio complements the transcript, and we believe it's a check and balance on the transcript so we can ensure that everything in the transcript is correct. There were obviously problems with this interview, or Robert Hur wouldn't have made all of the allegations about Joe Biden being a forgetful old man. We believe that Robert Hur went through a lot of the pains that I've been through with the just utter dishonesty of Joe Biden and his administration. So we expect to receive these audio tapes, and the Biden administration and the Department of Justice should provide them in the manner of transparency.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much for joining us this morning after your surprise, somewhat of a cameo on one of the late night shows last night. Have a great day. Thank you. Great to see you, as always.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.